Most guys already have a list of what they are looking for in a woman. But here's the problem with that. Most of the things on that list came from the world. And it says in Romans 12 verse 2, do not conform to the patterns of this world. But when it comes to choosing a life partner, most of us are doing exactly that. And in my almost 4 years of being single, I've had to unlearn a lot of those things. So in this video, I'm sharing 5 qualities I've learned to look for in a woman. And by the end, you know exactly what you should actually be looking for in a woman. The first quality is a meek and quiet spirit. And before you click off because it sounds old-fashioned, let me explain what it actually means. It's not about being silent. It's not about having no opinion. It's about being teachable. It's about being willing to follow. And here's why this matters more than most guys realize. As a man, you are called to lead your home. And one of the most important qualities in any follower is the ability to actually be led. Because you cannot lead someone who isn't willing to follow. Think about what that looks like in your everyday life. You're in a relationship. You have a vision for where you are going. You have rules. You have standards. But every time you try to lead, she's trying to pull you in a different direction. Every decision becomes a negotiation. Every boundary becomes a battle. And before you know it, you find yourself not leading, but begging, convincing. Now, I know what some of you are thinking because you've seen the debates online. Submission is one of the most contested words on the internet right now. But here's what that noise never tells you. Submission isn't something you demand. It's something she gives you out of respect for God and because she trusts you enough to lead her. And if she's already fighting that before you are even in a relationship, that's not something that gets better with time. Ephesians 5 verse 22 says, wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. That's not a power dynamic. That's a design. So here's what to look out for. Watch how she responds when she's wrong about something. Does she receive it with grace or does she resist, deflect, and shut down? Because how she responds to being corrected tells you everything about whether she can be led or not. Now that we've covered the willingness to learn, the next quality is what most guys think about, but very few actually filter for correctly. The second quality is capacity. And in this instance, what I mean by that is maturity. The ability to handle her own life before she tries to build one with someone else. Here's why this matters. A relationship is supposed to be two people bringing something to the table, not one person building while the other person drains the resources. And in the dating phase, one of the clearest signs of capacity is financial maturity. Now, I'm not saying she needs to be rich. I'm not saying she needs to have everything figured out. But here's what I'm saying. Can she take care of herself, her hair, her nails, her rent, her basic needs? Or is she looking for a man to come and cover everything she should already be covering for herself? Because if she's looking for a provider before you're even in a relationship, what she needs is a job, not a boyfriend. And of course, there's nothing wrong with spoiling her, surprising her with something thoughtful, going out of your way for her sometimes. That's not the issue. The issue is when it becomes an expectation, when spending on her feels like a duty, not a choice. That's not a partner, that's an entitled consumer. And there's a big difference. And here's the flip side of that. A woman who genuinely sees a future with you will actually guard your spending. She sees the vision, she understands what you are building, and she protects it. That right there is a green flag. But capacity isn't just financial, it's emotional. Can she manage her emotions, or do you find yourself walking on eggshells around her? It's spiritual. Is she growing in her faith, or is it just surface level? It's mental and social. Does she carry herself with wisdom and grace? So here's what to look out for. In the early stages, watch whether she's managing her own life responsibly. Because how she handles her own life tells you how she'll handle yours together. Now that we've covered capacity, the next quality is one that connects directly to this one and will change how you think about who you choose. But before that, if you've gotten value from this video so far, I'd appreciate it if you can hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this. The third quality is that she compliments you. And I don't mean that in a surface level way. I mean, when the two of you come together, you produce something greater than what either of you could have built alone. Here's the best way I can explain it. Think about an elite football or soccer team. You can't put 11 goalkeepers on the pitch and expect to win. You need a goalkeeper, defenders, midfielders, attackers, a coach, a medical team, and other various staffs that we know nothing about. Each one different, each one bringing something specific. each one covering what the others can't. And together, they achieve something none of them could achieve alone. That's what a complementary partner actually looks like. Another example. Now think about two people surrounded on all sides. If you are facing forward, you can't see what's coming from behind. But if someone has your back and you have theirs, suddenly nothing can sneak up on either of you. You cover what she can't see, she covers what you can't see. Together, nothing gets through. Because here's the truth most guys don't think about. You have blind spots, you have weaknesses, areas where you're strong and areas where you fall short. And that's okay. But when you choose someone who complements you, she fills those gaps. Maybe you know how to make money, but struggle to manage it. She brings that wisdom. Maybe you're a visionary, but you need someone who is detail oriented to help you execute. She brings that. Maybe you lead with your head and need someone who balances that with emotional intelligence. She brings that. That's not just a relationship, that's a team. And a team with the right combination will always outperform individuals playing alone. So here's what to look out for. Don't just ask, do I like her? Ask, does something greater get produced when we are together? Because a complementary partner doesn't complete you. She makes what God already placed in you go further than it ever could alone. Now that we've covered complementary, the next quality is one most guys completely overlook. And it might be the most practical one on this list. The fourth quality is Christ-like character. And let me be clear about what I mean, because this is one of the most misunderstood things in Christian dating. Church attendance is not character. Someone can show up every Sunday, speak in tongues, and live a completely different life the other 6 days of the week. Character is who someone is when nobody is watching, when there's nothing to gain. And here's why this matters so much. Proverbs 31 verse 30 says, charm is deceitful and beauty is fleeting. She can be incredibly attractive. She can be charming and fun to be around. But if her character doesn't reflect Christ, that attraction will eventually cost you something. Because here's what bad character actually looks like in real life. Watch how she treats people who can't give her anything back. The waiter, the cleaner, the person with nothing to offer her. Does she treat them with dignity and kindness? Or does she just treat them anyhow? That tells you everything. Watch how she speaks. Does she gossip? Does she tear people down? Does she speak life into people? Or does she speak destruction? And very important, watch the effect she has on your walk with God. Because here's one of the most dangerous things that can happen in a relationship. You don't even notice you are drifting. She's not doing anything dramatic. It's subtle. The way she speaks to you, the things she normalizes around you, the direction she's slowly pulling your attention. And one day, you look up and realize you are further from God than you were before she came into your life. That's not a partner. That's a distraction dressed up as a blessing. Matthew 7 verse 16 says, by their fruits you shall know them. Character is fruit, and fruit doesn't lie. So here's what to look out for. Watch her daily life, not her Sunday life. Because a woman of character won't just make you feel good, she will make you better. Now that we've covered character, we've arrived at the most important quality on this list. The one that everything else either grows from or falls apart without. The fifth and most important quality is this. She must fear the Lord. And I want to be very direct about this one because there's no gray area here. This is not a preference. This is not something to consider. This is a non-negotiable. 2 Corinthians 6 verse 14 says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And I know some guys hear that and think, well, I can lead her to Christ, or she'll come around once we are together. No, let her find Christ on her own. Not because she wants to date you, not because she's trying to keep you. Because if her faith is built on you, what happens when maybe for some reason you're not in her life anymore, or the relationship hits a rough patch? That foundation will crumble. And here's something most guys don't even think about. There's a difference between a good person and somebody who fears the Lord. A good person acts from their own strength, their own values, their own moral compass, and that's amazing. But someone who fears the Lord is living by the Spirit of God. Her patience isn't just a personality, it's the fruit of the Spirit. Her kindness isn't just who she is, it's Christ working through her. That's a completely different foundation to build a life on. And be careful of the gray areas. The I believe in God, but I don't really go to church. The I'm spiritual, but not religious. The faith that only shows up when it's convenient. Because a woman who truly fears the Lord doesn't just talk about her faith. She lives it in how she treats people, in how she handles hardship, in how she pursues God, even when nobody is watching. That's what you are looking for. Not perfection, not someone who has it all together, but someone whose life is genuinely oriented towards God. Because when two people who both fear the Lord come together, they don't just build a relationship, they build something that lasts. So here's what to look out for. Does being with her make you want to pursue God more? Because that's the clearest sign of all. A woman who fears the Lord won't just be good for your heart, she'll be good for your soul. Now, you know the 5 qualities to look for in a woman, but knowing what to look for is only half of it. The other half is becoming the kind of man a woman like that would actually want to be with. I'll be covering that in my next video, so subscribe so you don't miss it. But in the meantime, comment below any quality you think I missed, and I think you will enjoy this video as well. So check it out. Remember, the path is yours to walk, and as always, I'm in your corner, rooting for you.